Hello from Abu Dhabi. I'm Bernard Ricks, the founder and publisher of Policing Insight and Policing TV, and I'm delighted to welcome you to this AI and Policing event, co-produced with CJS Event Solutions. It's the first, this event, of a series of 4 that we're putting on that covers AI and policing from a global perspective. Do please enjoy this very first episode and come back to us in future weeks for episodes 2, 3, and 4. For the time being, though, thank you to our presenters, thank you to you, our audience, and of course also to those that have organised this event. Do please enjoy it.
I'm Paul Taylor, and I'm the UK Government's Chief Scientific Advisor for Policing. My role is to ensure that policing, the whole policing system, embraces the very best in science and technology in all areas of its business. And as the UK policing strategy suggests, we do that by engaging widely, evolving technologies and science that we think are really important, and then making sure that they embed properly in our day-to-day business. When I set the challenge of talking about artificial intelligence to you today, I was thinking what I could tell you that you couldn't read online and what you couldn't see in the myriad of publications and interests that we've seen in artificial intelligence over the last 12 to 18 months, as things like Chat, GPT and others have reached the consciousness of the mainstream public. And I was reminded of a series of research papers that Professor Louis Gutman wrote called the What is Not What papers. And Louis had observed in an area where there's lots of commentary and lots of talk about a particular topic, sometimes it's just as important to avail people of what the topic is not, as much as it is what it is. And so I thought I'd speak to you today about my what is not what of artificial intelligence. In so doing, perhaps pulling away some of those myths that maybe are materialising around what AI might do for policing. But of course, in so doing, also let you know what I think are the most important things around artificial intelligence in policing moving forwards. I think the first thing to say is that AI is not advanced data analytics. AI is a specific form of analysis of data that learns from exposure to data in a way that can extrapolate to new data. Much of what we do in policing is advanced data analytics. It is not artificial intelligence. Take, for example, the analysis of child sex exploitation material. The use of software to identify photos that are known to a database is not AI. It is using advanced analytics to match that photo to a database of photos. More progressive CSAM material analytics that look at particular photos and extrapolate and make predictions or assessments of new material are using AI. Another example, of course, is face recognition, something we're particularly keen on here in the UK, not least because of the results that we're seeing where offenders across the country who have not been brought to justice are being caught on our streets and being put through the justice system. Face recognition is a great example of artificial intelligence because what it's doing is extrapolating from single images and matching it to new images that it's not seen before and saying, yes, that is the same face. So it's a particular type of AI. The second thing is that artificial intelligence is not a predictive tool. It can be a predictive tool, but our uses of it in policing generally are not. I'm often called to give evidence where the notion that policing may be using AI as a predictive tool is a concern. A kind of spin-off of Minority Report, the film, where a number of individuals predicted that crimes were likely to happen. The reality is, or at least the reality in UK policing, is that is not where we are seeing the value of artificial intelligence. The value of artificial intelligence comes in what I call the backroom tasks, delivering efficiencies and reducing the monotony of tasks that can be done automatically by a computer, allowing our officers and our workforce generally to go back to doing the tasks probably that they've joined the force to do in the first place. So let's go back to our example of the child sex exploitation material as one good example of that. The value here of the AI is firstly that we can rapidly process large amounts of digital forensics material. But secondly, of course, that we're protecting our officers from seeing that material. We're able to automatically attribute the sorts of material that is being seen in terms of its grading, and that means that our officers don't have to manually look at that material, and that's an important welfare consideration. But it's a backroom task, it's not making a prediction. Another area where we're seeing great applications of artificial intelligence is around automatic redaction. You know, single forces are saving 15,000 plus hours of time per year by engaging in automatic redaction of text, but also automatic redaction of imagery, where, for example, our body-worn video footage is often the cause of a subject access request, and we are lawfully obliged to blur out every face that is not the subject of the actual subject access request. That used to take our workforce many hundreds and hundreds of hours to complete. It can now be done fairly quickly through a piece of artificial intelligence that can recognize the face and blur it. That is a backroom task, but it is saving much money and many hours and allowing the workforce to go back to dealing with local policing and frontline issues. Another example that touches on artificial intelligence, although much of its application perhaps is not strictly the definition I gave you a minute ago, is around robotic process automation and the use of computers to automate tasks. We're having particular success around improvements of data quality. And I find that quite interesting because RPA, in a way, is a million miles away from touching the public and improving public lives, at least at first blush. But actually, because robotic process automation is improving the quality of our data by looking for duplicates, removing errors, and very simple tasks like that, which manually take many hours to do, what it's achieving is a better data quality. And that leads to a better court file, better quality court file, and that ultimately is leading to better prosecutions. So things that seem very mechanistic have important backroom, have important implications for the entire criminal justice system. The third myth I'd like to touch on is that I don't think AI is a human replacer. Every now and again, I enter conversations where people are particularly worried that artificial intelligence is going to be taking them away from their job. I don't think that's true. I think what artificial intelligence is doing in policing is helping people get back to the human element of job, the thing that they were interested in. And there are also areas where actually artificial intelligence is enhancing the skill of our operators. We have a system called ILAS, which we're using for the investigation of, again, child sex exploitation cases. And ILAS is a clever piece of AI which watches and learns how an investigator undertakes their investigation of a child sex exploitation case. Over time, it begins to understand which pieces of evidence the investigator uses, in what order, and what sorts of assessments and decisions they make on the basis of those bits of evidence. It then applies those learnings to the backlog of cases that we are currently processing, and it prioritizes them. It prioritizes them and helps flag up those which have the pieces of evidence and information that are likely to be important to the investigator. And in so doing, it helps the investigator be more efficient and do their job in a more effective way. Another area where AI is obviously complementary to the operator is in the use of drones, and in particular beyond visual line of sight for drones. Artificial intelligence ensures that the drone does not crash, it ensures it has collision avoidance, and it maintains a number of things for the drone's stability. That allows us to be more confident that the operator can fly safely with the drone in considerable distance from them. We are not in the UK at the point of flying beyond visual line of sight, but it is thanks to AI that we can push at that agenda and hopefully get there, particularly for our rural communities, where being able to fly a drone out of a box remotely will have a huge difference in terms of life-saving and responding to first response to incidents. The really interesting, and my last not is what is not what, is that AI in policing is not really about AI. It's about data quality. The scientists will often use the phrase garbage in, garbage out, and it means that the outcome of a process, a data analytic process, can only be as good as the ingredients you put into it in the first place. So if you're interested in going about the AI business, then actually your primary focus is not AI. Your primary focus is, how do I ensure that I have high data quality? It's only with that data quality that you can use analytics of all kinds. Some may be AI-based, some may not, to make better judgments and to make better decisions and ultimately create better case files for the justice process. Creating more data quality, of course, is a social technical problem. It would be a mistake to blame the user for the quality of the data. When you're entering data at the end of a long shift, probably at 3 a.m. in the morning, it is not your fault that the system does not allow you to do so in a fluid and easy manner. We need to find ways to make it easier for people to provide data, and we need to find more technical ways for people to improve that data and enrich that data. In policing, we have a myriad of different types of data as well, of course, and that notion of data fusion is an area where we are particularly interested in focusing our development work, so that we can bring together those various pieces of evidence for officers to make good decisions. Now, I know that AI is not all good news, and I've not really spoken in my 15 minutes about threats. You will have read about them across the mainstream media and in any other readings that you've done. For us, I think probably the main threat that we're concerned about is deepfakes for scams, and deepfakes for blackmail of individuals, be that romance blackmail or industrial blackmail. The ability now to create realistic phone calls, realistic imagery, realistic documents does cause concern, and our ability to identify those and differentiate them from genuine material is a serious threat to the evidential system. We're keen and interested, of course, on automation of disinformation and how we can again challenge and block the use of disinformation and the spread of disinformation, particularly in areas like elections. But those are just two of many areas of threats that we have to worry about for AI. So how have we gone about it in our policing? I was asked early on in my tenure as Chief Scientific Advisor whether we would have a strategy for artificial intelligence. I thought about this for a long time, and actually we decided that we wouldn't have a strategy for artificial intelligence. AI is but one tool of many that is part of our national science and technology strategy. Instead, what we've done is take a three-phase approach to allowing policing to embrace AI. The first is that we set a framework. We've published, and you can see it on our website, the AI Concordat. In effect, it draws the playing field. It says these are the things that we are going to do with AI in policing, and these are the boundaries and where overstepping those Concordat principles would be inappropriate. They're things that you'd expect. It needs to be lawful, it needs to be transparent, it needs to be examinable by an independent person. That framework does provide us the playing field in which we're going to operate. The next thing is that we've funded, through seed funding, short-term fail-fast projects to determine where best we can place AI, where best it's likely to produce the most advantage to us. And I do that personally through what's known as the STAR programme of funding, but indeed forces do that themselves by setting up small teams to explore and implement useful solutions across the range of their business. And the third element to our framework has been to educate widely. It's important as things move forward that a large number of people, in particular senior officers, have enough understanding of artificial intelligence that they can be both learned users and consumers of the AI technology. You don't need to understand the ins and outs how everything works, but it's important you understand the opportunity, and it's important you understand the risks so that you can implement them effectively within your organisation. So I see AI as an exciting development within science and technology and innovation, one of many that are occurring within the UK as we rapidly develop to be the world's leading force involving science and innovation. There are threats indeed, but there are many advantages, and those advantages will deliver efficiency and effectiveness and productivity in a way that we must embrace. Thanks very much.